Hey, welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about amortization. I know it's kind of a boring topic, right? Wrong. We are going to tell you how amortization actually impacts your mortgage approval amount and your monthly cash flow. Now, before choosing your amortization period, you want to figure out what your budget is and what your desired purchase price is because it definitely has an impact and relates to your amortization amount. Now, keep in mind the longer the amortization, the higher the mortgage amount. That's a easy rule to kind of keep in mind. Now, there are some restrictions in place. For example, if you place a down payment of less than 20%, right now you're able to only obtain a 25-year amortization. However, as of December 15th, again, based on some restrictions, you can possibly receive a 30-year amortization. And now, as of 20% down as of today, and even December 15th, that's not changing. But 20% down or more, you have the ability of choosing up to a 30-year amortization. But you could always change your amortization to 25 or 20 or 15. Now, again, like I said before, the longer the amortization, the higher the mortgage amount. So if you choose to get a smaller amortization period, you actually will qualify for a lower mortgage amount, again, depending on your income. You could have very high income, have 20% down, and say to yourself, wait a minute, we do not want a 30-year amortization. We may want a 20-year amortization. So there's definitely some restrictions in place. And in this video, we're going to go over some of those restrictions as well as why you want maybe a 30-year amortization or a 20-year amortization as well. Now, the longer the amortization, that sounds like a great plan because you actually maximize your mortgage approval amount. However, some may say, well, Parm, you will pay extra interest, a lot more interest over the next 5 years or 10 years, however you choose to do so. And that is correct. Now, to offset the extra interest, you could actually make lump sum payments against your mortgage. We actually work with a lender that will allow you to make a lump sum payment of 20% of the original mortgage balance per year without a penalty. So for example, if you have a $100,000 mortgage principal balance, this is at time of signing, you have the ability to pay up to $20,000 per year towards your mortgage principal balance. That's quite a bit. Now keep in mind, you also want to see how long you want to live in the property for. Are you really going to live in the property for 25 or 30 years? Many do not. And when we talk about total interest paid, we talk about total interest paid in 25 or 30 years. Keep in mind, you are going to see a lot of market appreciation on your property in also 25 or 30 years, and many forget about that. They just look at the interest, but they assume that their property won't go up in value. Now, here in the lower mainland or the Vancouver market, we've seen huge appreciation just over the last 7 years or 8 years alone. So imagine what's going to happen over the next 25 or 30 years. And also, yes, you are paying interest, but at the same time, if you didn't own a property, you'd be paying rent. And with the rent, you don't see any market appreciation. So now more than ever, many people are moving, and this is why most Canadians break a 5-year fixed mortgage in about 3 years. Many people are making a change, and if you buy a property today, chances are in 5 years, 5 to 7 years, you may see good appreciation, and that appreciation may actually offset, if not all, a lot of your interest costs as well. The biggest thing many people forget about or don't take into consideration, we always ask our clients is what are your goals? Is your goal to be mortgage free as soon as possible? If that's the case, and for example, you have good income, no debt, and let's just say you go with a 25-year amortization because you qualify for your desired purchase price at a 25-year amortization, then it's a good idea to go with the 25-year amortization. Now, if you have the ability to put 20% or more, and you want to go with the 25 or 30-year amortization, and your goal is to be mortgage free as soon as possible, then you might want to consider a lower amortization. Maybe instead of going 30, you might want to go 25 or even 20 because you want to be mortgage free as soon as possible. Now keep in mind, when you change your amortization period, your mortgage payment also changes. So keep in mind, when your amortization goes down, your mortgage payment also goes up. And when your amortization goes up, your mortgage payment goes down. And this is why you pay more or less interest. So if you are thinking about becoming mortgage free as soon as possible, you have 20% down. Instead of getting a 30-year amortization, you get a 25-year amortization because you have that choice. Keep in mind your mortgage payment will go up by about $300 to $400 a month. So you want to look at your cash flow as well. What's important to you? So when it comes to your goals, you want to see, okay, do I want to be mortgage free as soon as possible? And also, how much can I afford? Do I really need to do a 30-year amortization, or can I get away with doing a 25-year amortization? I'll cut back somewhere else and really just aggressively pay my mortgage down and become mortgage free as soon as possible. And there are plans for that. And we've helped many clients reach their goals if they want to do that. Now, the other side is, do you want to accumulate more property? Because if you want to accumulate more property, then it's best to go if you have a 20% down payment or more. Now, when I'm talking about less than 20% down, right now, as of December 15th, you will have some options as of December 15th, but right now you don't. You have to take a 25-year amortization or again, lower. But many people are taking 25 because it simply can't qualify with a lower amortization. But if you have the chance, let's say you want to accumulate more property, you're better off going with the longer or the highest amortization. And the reason for that is once you go ahead and buy your second property or you start looking for your second property, the lower the mortgage payment for your principal residence home, the higher the mortgage approval amount for your second or third property. So this is very important. Many people kind of shoot themselves in the foot by taking a smaller amortization. Then down the road, when they want to buy a second property, they actually need to lower their purchase price down because the mortgage payment is so high on their principal residence home that actually eliminated $50,000 or $100,000 of mortgage money for their second or third property. And this is why we tell a lot of our clients ask a lot of our clients, what are your goals? So when it comes to accumulating more properties, having a max amortization for each property is always a good idea because number one, you'll actually qualify for the maximum mortgage amount when you keep accumulating more property. And then number two, you actually have a lower mortgage payment. So let's just say you get the max amortization for all your rental properties, then your mortgage payment is the lowest, and that actually helps your cash flow. That actually helps you get better cash flow, potentially positive cash flow. And here in the lower mainland, the Vancouver market, this matters a lot because prices here are quite high. So you want to make sure that you're putting almost nothing out of your pocket or very little out of your pocket. Well, thanks for tuning in. And I hope this video was informative for you, but I want to let you know that you always want to run the numbers and do a cost analysis to, how much rent you're paying, how much interest you're paying, what your mortgage amount looks like if you were to get a longer amortization now, and run like a scenario or an example to see, okay, if I buy a property now and I get this amortization, this will help me qualify this much for my second property. I know it's kind of a really rough number, but it will help because if you decide to buy your second or third property a couple years from now, things may change, rates may change, rules may change, but it's still a good idea to always run a cost analysis, run the numbers to get some sort of idea, and always plan ahead. In the mortgage space, it's super important to plan ahead. Well, I'll see you at our next video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.